Hello, everyone. Welcome to week 5. So, a quick recap of what we'll be talking about in this video. We're going to review week 4, point out week 5 readings, talk a little bit about opinions, evaluations, and viewpoints. We'll go over some key terms, and then we'll talk about what to do. So a reflection on the week 4 discussion. So I want to thank everyone who participated in the open forum discussion. I thought there was some great dialogue going on. Your thesis statement submissions were great. You guys picked some great topics, very well laid out. So just so you know, this is going to be part of your final assignment. So while the workload may seem a little less, make sure that you're continually working on, your argumentative essay, which relates to your thesis statement as the weeks progress. Readings for week 5, chapters 6 and 7, and then there's also a recommended article if you want to take a look at that. So this week you're going to focus on opinions, evaluations, and viewpoints. So what is an opinion? It's a view or a judgment formed about something that is not necessarily based on fact or knowledge, and it's your way of looking at something, right? So here I have some quotes about some great people throughout history that have made statements. So they're not necessarily facts, right? They're the opinions of those who wrote the information. So example of an opinion: I think you should cut your hair. So notice I think, right? So it's me. This is my opinion. I own it. You can make a generalization. I don't think that you should call out sick today. It expresses what we think and what we feel, and this is commonly seen on Facebook with the invention of the likes and the dislikes. Public opinion polls, if you look at Pew Research or McKinsey reports, some of them are labeled, the opinions of those that were being surveyed is this, and these are the results. But they're the opinions of those individuals. So on page 176 of the textbook, there's a great read to decipher fact from opinion, if you want to take a look at that. So an evaluation is a specific form of an opinion, and it's the formation of an opinion about the value of something. It encourages reliability, validity, and accuracy, right? So if you are evaluating something or somebody has written something that's been evaluated, it's further enhancing the reliability of that data, right? So I'm going to give you an exercise of how I went through a process of an evaluation, right? So I'm going to form an opinion about something. And for so long, I would always say that working home was an excuse for people to get chores done while they were pretending to work. I was completely against working from home. So then I started, to evaluate sources and look at experiences by examining the workload that did get done by employees who said that they were working from home. Of course, during COVID-19, there's tons of data out there now that says people are sometimes more productive when working from home, right? So my initial evaluation changed due to my experiences and research. Right? So there's the recent facts about COVID-19 to further back up me changing my viewpoint after evaluating the data. The viewpoints, it's a position or a perspective from which something is evaluated. It's an attitude, a stance that you're taking, right? So when you think about a viewpoint, this is commonly seen in literature where you have first person, second person, and third person. First person is if you are telling a story from your own perspective, from your own viewpoint, you're going to see a lot of I or me throughout the writings. If you're using second person, it's going to contain you. So second person is not used a lot, nor do I advocate for it. Third person is when you are talking, about something, right? So if I'm reading through a paper and somebody will, cite some factual information or something, and then in the next sentence, so you should know, and it makes it sound like they're writing this paper specifically for me, and that's something that you should avoid doing. There are definitely different types of viewpoints, conscious, unconscious. Viewpoints, very commonly known in politics, right? You've got your liberal views, you've got your conservative views, and you can read several news articles about the same topic, yet the viewpoints that they're being told from can paint a different picture entirely. So unconscious and conscious viewpoints, you've got egocentric. And that's when ego, right? The word ego, you're thinking about me. And that's when somebody's unable to understand anyone else's point of view. It's children, right? Typically, that happens at a younger age. Children, they're throwing a temper tantrum in a store because it's all about them. They want that piece of candy that they saw, and they don't care. So they're going to throw a tantrum. Some famous people who can be related to egocentric viewpoints. You've got Donald Trump, Kanye West, Tom Brady, Rosie O'Donnell. Ethnocentrism. This is when you recognize someone else's viewpoint, but you think their viewpoint's a little odd. It's like, okay, sure, I get your point, but when they walk away, you're like, well, that was odd. And this comes in the form of judging others by their cultures or their values, right? So, for example, in Scotland, men wear skirts. It's like, okay, I get it. Well, that's not the custom here in America, so I find that kind of odd. And with ethnocentrism, the one thing that it can do is it can create solidarity, because if you have an ethnocentric viewpoint, you're getting everybody to believe in that one certain thing. Androcentrism, it's using a masculine point of view, right? So if you refer to, hey guys, when you walk into a room and there's 3 girls and 3 guys, that's a form of androcentrism. Another thing is that women's health has been adversely affected since many early studies didn't focus on women's problems. They didn't use women in studies. And so that was a very androcentric viewpoint. Anthropocentrism, humans are superior to anything, right? And so this relates to big corporations taking this point of view that, whatever we do, everything is the best and it's the greatest. You could have radical viewpoints. That's somebody who has very extreme views, whether it's to the left or to the right, my way or the highway. Free healthcare for everyone. I don't care if that's it. No in between. No, well, let's maybe meet in the middle, right? Osama bin Laden, Adolf Hitler, they were radicals. Liberal, that's when the governments should be involved in social change. So currently in the United States, that's our current administration. It's a liberal administration. Let's ensure that there's equality and diversity, and you can see that in Joe Biden and Nancy Pelosi here in the States. Conservative is when you believe in traditional values. So here again in America, we have to stick to the U.S. Constitution that was written well over 250 years ago, but that's what's our guiding light, and we don't want to veer from that, right? So with Second Amendment in the United States, you have the right to bear arms. Therefore, everybody should own a gun, and conservatives advocate for people being able to own guns. We see this in Donald Trump and Ted Cruz. So we're going to talk about the due dates for week 5. It's going to be pretty easy week. You have the only thing that you have to do is a discussion board. There's only one topic, and it's due. Your initial post is due tomorrow because it's Tuesday now. No, is it Tuesday or Wednesday? No, it's Wednesday, so it's due tonight. And then your responses to your peers are due by Sunday, 11:59 p.m. Remember, if you respond to 2 peers, you will be at standard. If you respond to more than 2 peers, you'll exceed the standard. And if I ask you any questions, make sure to show courtesy in responding. And that applies not just to me, to your peers as well, if they pose a question to you. So the discussion board, it says part 2, but there's only one part of the discussion board, and it's based on evaluations. So you're going to share 2 situations where you changed your initial evaluation. And it could be from, you went from a positive to a negative or a negative to a positive, right? And how did this happen? What drove your initial evaluation? So as I had said to you in the beginning when I was talking about the work from home, my experience being in the workforce back in the day was you had to be there in order for people to see you being productive. However, furthering my experience showed me that that's not necessarily the case. And then research is out there to dispute the fact that all people that work from home simply, just do chores around the house instead of doing some actual work. And so that's how I changed my point of view, right? After doing some evaluation. And your responses are due February 12th. So looking ahead, please remember to continue working on your argumentative essay. It's going to be here before you know it. So this is your free time. Conduct the research, write a paragraph, write 2 paragraphs, get something down on paper. And to help guide you, you should be working on from page 358 of the textbook, items 3 through 6, and that should help you to establish your paper in its entirety. And so for week 6, there'll be a viewpoint essay that's going to be due on the following Sunday, but we're going to talk about all of that because I will be coming in for our first visit, and I'm looking so forward to it. I'm looking forward to meeting everyone in person. We've got lots of fun things planned and activities, and if any of you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Have a great week.